Sure. So my name is Rowan, and I live in the Sacramento Valley. And in my free time, I like to manage the landscape. I like to bring life onto the landscape in a way that is going to nourish the soil, be good for the ecosystem as a whole, as well as good for myself and my family and those I love. And when I'm not in my free time, in my paid time, what I do is I help farmers bring life onto their operations through the implementation and the support of implementing regenerative agriculture practices. And so yeah, it's really what I'm all about is soil health and regenerative agriculture and helping humans, helping farmers, helping people have a deeper understanding of how we interact with the natural world and kind of pushing the needle towards our relationship with the natural world being one that's more harmonious, one that is more of our role being a nurturer. And I firmly believe, and I have seen evidence that if we can continue to nurture the natural world through our agricultural practices, it will nurture us through improved soil health, through improved plant health, and through increased productivity of the landscape. And so that's really what I'm all about, and I'm excited to share some of what I know with everyone. Sure. So yeah, it is winter here in the Sacramento Valley, and so the landscape is pretty dormant, but after the early rains that we've had, everything's starting to green up a little bit. And so I'm going to take you along and show you what I have growing. Coffee cup out here reusing on 7 R's Ranch. A cob. It's corn, oats, and barley from a local mill just 10 miles south of us. It's rolled corn, rolled oats, rolled barley. Okay. These are Corriedales, so they're great tasting meat as well as high quality wool. Was probably knee-high with weeds about a month ago. And so what I did was I spread a diverse mixture of cover crop seeds. All throughout this area. I put portable fencing along this line, brought the sheep in. The sheep grazed in here for a few days. They ate the weeds that were here down to the ground. While they were here, their hooves stomped the seeds into the soil, minorly disturbed it with their hooves. They urinated all throughout, providing nutrients, providing water for these cover crops to grow. And this is probably a month after the sheep were taken off. We have fresh growth of different grasses, which are grains. We have legumes. We have a bell bean here. We have vetch. We have Dundaley peas. And we have some brassicas coming up. And so this was a diverse mix of cover crops that the sheep helped germinate and helped grow. And so the sheep will come back in here right before these reach maturity, and they will graze this again.
Cool. Which one of the R's is this?
Regenerate.
Regenerate. Nice.
That's definitely got to be one of the 7, because that's what I'm trying to do here is regenerate the landscape and through regenerative ag practices such as cover cropping, such as prescribed grazing, and hopefully increase the fertility of this orchard. All of these prunings, instead of putting them in a burn pile and burning them and sending all of that carbon up into the sky, what we did was come in with the chipper and turned this into this. And so these wood chips were then raked out in spots that I saw to be bare. They needed armor, because you always want to have armor on the soil. And so what I did before I shredded them was seed that same diverse mix of cover crops all throughout this. And this was pretty bare before. And so as you can see here, the bell beans, the oats, the triticale, the cover crops are growing through this layer of carbon, through these wood chips. They're germinating right through them. And so as I mentioned before, of the benefits of turning these chips, turning these prunings into wood chips, is that these will take a lot longer to break down, and this will provide mulch for the orchard, armor on the soil, and food for the soil life. And so, as I mentioned before, today we'll be talking about carbon, soil, and plants. The relationship is really integrated and really interconnected. And so the carbon is what feeds the soil life. And so these wood chips are going to be consumed by microbes, by mycorrhizal fungi, and by worms, and by different soil life. And it will turn from this form of carbon into soil carbon, as well as some of it will be respired into the atmosphere just through the process of the soil life breaking it down. But nonetheless, it will provide significant energy to this soil ecosystem. Potatoes over there, and I believe I can get some more out of the
I
pen.
think we can have a person standing here. They're going to be afraid of people. So
That's true.
if we can get them so that they're not coming where we're at, I think you're going to be fine.
The sheep are going to be moved to this new pasture so they can trounce down the vegetation.
Several $100 worth of panels to get moving 50 feet. Two sheep. Who's the smart ones around here? You know?
You want to put that rug?
Not everyone's been doing this for 40 years, Dad. Some people
I've
have
never
to learn.
moved sheep, but we've moved a lot of cows, and we've had them get out a lot of
These are not
times.
cows, though.
I don't know anything about
after we
sheep.
took that thing in sheep, believe me, I had a
Oh,
much
it looks
higher
like to me all you gotta do is
appreciation.
wave the green bucket because they come running.
Well, they're used to you. You may be right. Maybe that's
You
what we
wave that
should
green
do.
bucket at night and they're running, man.
This is the next generation learning. Learning about moving sheep. This is how you herd cats, Dad. I mean sheep.
Why don't you get the? Why don't you
I think
get
I'm going to calves. You can just one person can herd them in. Tomorrow I'll have to move them again. This grass will be gone.
There's another piece of the ground. Yeah, look at the pretty mustard flowers, though. That's the mustard I planted.
Oh, they're happy. Look at
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
They're super excited.
Wow, to be moving. You guys are exaggerating.
Yeah, I think we haven't moved. I've never done it before, so I'm just learning.
How was that, Rowan?
That was pretty good. I definitely appreciate the help of my amazing family to make it all happen smoothly. But yeah.
Grandpa supported you.
Now Grandpa doesn't have to mow the weeds here or spray them.
Yeah, well, he took $300 worth of panels. 10 hours to put them up to move them over here. To keep from 10 minutes worth of weed eating.
I